Sometimes the sun shines on other people's houses and not mine. Some days the clouds.
Welcome back, folks, to the Stockwell Eldridge Show. I'm Jason with Remax Results.
And I'm Dawn with Remax Results.
If you're just tuning in or missed any of the earlier segments, we've been talking with Justin Arneson, solar consultant with All Energy Solar, and Steve Furlong with Mortgages Unlimited about solar energy and what it can do for your energy bill, number one, how you can do it, and it's not as difficult as it sounds, and there's a lot of benefits right now that are in place where you can get half of it covered, essentially by the tax credit or the Xcel Energy company themselves, and you can actually have a net zero or a gain every month. If you missed that, you have to check it out on previous segments. And we talked as we left the segment about the valuation of what this would do to the value of your home. I think pretty much anywhere now around the country, it's becoming universally accepted that solar is a viable option. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that and I said aesthetically is the pleasing thing. So yes, there's certain situations where it probably won't look the best or maybe doesn't look the best on certain roofs or certain areas, but you guys can find out the spot that it does. And I think with the acceptance of it being so widely accepted now and the sheer benefit of the cost of utility, that I think that'll outweigh that, and I think it does increase the value of your property from that perspective, for sure.
Definitely. So I usually go to the house and see what their opinion is, see what they want, where are they thinking about putting some solar panels, and then before I even give my recommendation. So, just in terms of aesthetics.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm having Justin out to my house for sure. Dawn and Steve probably are going to be in touch with him as well. And if you guys want to reach out to him and have a free consultation, it doesn't cost anything, and you can see what your cost would be and also what your benefit would be for adding solar. And these incentives are in place right now from the federal government and from the energy companies, and those don't last forever, as you know, with any program or any sort of incentive. So we don't know how long this will last, at least through this year, is what you're saying, Justin, correct? Through
Yep,
the tax
incentives
season?
are around to really boost solar energy and, bring down the cost. I mean, I think we're at the point where costs are so low, incentives are still available where you can really take advantage of it. I mean, the federal tax credits, we don't know how long that's going to be around. It's supposed to be around to like 2020, but with new administration, we're expecting that to expire by the end of this year. But that's not guaranteed. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. It was enacted by George W. Bush back in 2008, I believe, and we'll see what happens. But that's a 30% chunk that.
It's a big chunk, and then then there's another 20 from the energy company, correct?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's Justin's phone number, again, 612-437-5413, 612-437-5413. We'll have that on our Facebook page and on our website, tcrealeestatehour.com.
Yes, I would recommend at least looking into it early this year because installation does take, or the process of installing does take roughly, 3 to 4 months before you have solar panels on your house. You do have to get solar panels on your house this year in order to be guaranteed the tax credit.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Any other questions, Steve? What do you think?
Is there any reason why you wouldn't put panels on the roof of your home?
I get that question every day. I don't know. Other than aesthetics.
Well, if you're buried in trees, let's say you're in the middle of a bunch of trees and your house faces north and you have trees all behind you, and potentially, right?
Yeah, those are the two enemies: the shade and north side of your house. That's the only reason, or if that's the location that you're thinking of. But that's
and you do rural, so you said you do all across the state of Minnesota. So even if you're listed and you're not in the Twin Cities, you can go out to where you get co-op, or where do the energy companies, what do they provide out in rural Minnesota?
They have Dakota Electric, Wright Hennepin.
If you have
Country Power.
So wherever your power company is, it doesn't really matter if it's Xcel or if it's in the city or if it's out in the country.
Doesn't matter. We can work with you. We have systems in Rochester, Mankato, St. Cloud, Moose Lake, Grand Marais, so all across the state.
Well,
everything.
And do people? I probably can go to your website to find some maybe testimonials or things like that. Or what are people saying after they're done? Like, do they ever say, "This is great, thank you. The numbers are great, and I'm getting money back"? Or what's happening out there?
They're very happy with their system, absolutely. So you can go on our website. There are definitely testimonials. Otherwise, there's like a customer review site where you can go and review your solar energy your company, solar energy company. What you're looking at is you have to go to solarreviews.com to see what customers are saying.
Cool, very cool.
Yep.
I think it's good for pretty much, like you said, anybody, unless you're surrounded by massive trees or face north, to at least give it a shot to see what it would come in at during this, where you have a tax credit.
Mm-hmm.
And is that a tax? Yeah, that may be the financial part for an accountant, but that's a tax credit, so it's not a direct. It's based on your taxes and your tax rate, correct? So it's a
Yep.
deduction,
Yep.
basically. Okay.
Sometimes we run into issues if the person or the homeowner is retired or something like that. But mainly, if you have an income, you're paying the federal government, you're eligible.
Got it. Got
Do you
it.
have any condo buildings? Is it possible to go on a condo building?
It is possible. When you're thinking about a condo building, it's usually the owner of the condo. So we're trying to offset like the hallways or like the dryer downstairs. I mean, we have a system up on in Uptown on the Greenway. There's some big brand new buildings over there in Minneapolis that we have them on. We do commercial sites. We did the first Marriott in the nation in Mankato.
Wow.
So yeah, we'll do small, large scale, whatever meets your needs. Yep.
Wow. Anybody with cabins?
Lots of people with cabins up north.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what
yep,
I was thinking. My
yep.
parents have a cabin up north, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this might be a good idea.
The closer you are to the end of the line, so the further you are from the site of the generation of the power, the more your electricity costs, right?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure how to answer that. Maybe. I don't think so. Like for Excel, I think the rate is 12 to 13 cents per kilowatt hour, and then other companies charge different rates too. I think Dakota's like 10 or 11 cents. So, and those are going to continue to rise. So the more that they rise, the quicker your payback is on your solar energy system because you're just creating your own power on your roof.
And basically, here in our state, Minnesota being a northern state, your winters you have less. You're going to get less credit, obviously, because you have less sun. So then, and then the summer you have the most, right? Is that-
Most generation, you're actually probably going to be making money June, July, August, and then all that money that you made from the sun will be rolled over to like November, December, January when there's not a lot of sunny days. So,
Yep.
yep.
And then my cousin, who's in Wisconsin, I don't know what they use for power, but they have off-peak and on-peak or something like that, or higher rates during peak hours. Is that, do we have that in the cities? Anybody know that?
Sometimes, yeah, we do run into that. We can work with them just to focus on what meter we're going to be tying into, the on-peak, off-peak. Or I know some people get different deals for like if they're connected to a water heater or furnace. They get like
Yes.
they're charged
It was
like
in-floor
4
heat
cents.
is what he did. Yeah, it was in-floor heat in the basement.
And then the regular meters charge like 13 cents. So yeah, we can definitely work with you.
Cool.
Wow.
I learned a ton so far.
Yeah. And remember, it's Mother's Day, so you can buy a solar system for your mom.
There you go. No money down.
Yeah, what a great gift. Yes. Yeah, a ton of information, a lot to learn. I learned a ton on that, and I actually put me over the edge to actually have Justin come out and look at the house and see if we could actually do it, because that's sometimes what it takes. If you know all this information, you'll actually go and take the step when you've been thinking about it for a while. Instead of being scared of the cost of hearing the numbers like 30,000, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't need to take on another 30,000. But if you take it on in a smart way with incentives, and it makes sense, and you can actually have a net zero or net gain in revenue or money on your Excel bill, it makes total sense.
Yeah, I'm excited to come out to your house and see how much electricity we can offset. Can we cut your bill in half or get rid of all of it? We'll see what happens. Typically, a site assessment takes roughly 60 to 90 minutes.
Okay.
While you're there, wow.
While I'm there, yep, and then after
Do you
that,
have like a
appointment-
sun reader that like reads the sun's power at the top of the? I
I
mean,
bet they do. I bet they do, right?
What
we
do you-
do.
Yeah.
Yep, we do. Yep. I get up on the
cool.
roof
Oh
and then
my
I can
gosh.
see. Yeah, it tells me how much shade, not only today, but how much shade is going to hit your roof when the sun's lower in the sky, like in
So
December.
it's using the satellite and all that stuff, or what?
Not
Wow.
necessarily. It's
Oh.
just it's a
Wow.
camera with like a bird eye on it, so it can kind of it'll measure the yep. See how
I,
much shade.
I did not
Oh,
think you
that's
had that,
cool.
but you have it. That's
we do.
awesome.
It's a shade reader. Yep.
Wow. Not a
Cool.
sun reader.
Shade reader.
Shade reader.
Yes.
And maybe you have a lot of sun up there, so maybe no shade will hit your roof throughout the year. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully
Yeah.
you're not shady.
What are you doing after the show? No, I'm just kidding. Justin Arneson, All Energy Solar, again, 612-437-5413. Thanks so much, Justin, for all your insight and information.
Yeah,
And
no
Steve,
problem.
thanks
Thanks
so
for
much
having
for
me
your
on.
insight and information. It's been
Yes.
great.
Welcome.
Great show.
Yes.
Ah, that's our studio audience.
Yes. Check us out, Stockwell Eldritch Show on Facebook. I'm Jason Stockwell, Remax Results.
And I'm Dawn Eldridge, Remax Results. Thanks for listening.
Have a great week, folks. Love yourself and love others.
In the middle of our house, it has a crowd.